Om Shanti. Today I was thinking about, we try to meditate every day, and in our meditation we always, invariably we start with I'm a soul, I'm peace. But I don't know whether that I am is something that we feel, because it's more like I am thinking I'm a soul and I want to be peaceful. And that true recognition and that experience and that feeling and that deep knowing that I am a soul, I am a peaceful, I am peace, I am love, I am purity, is something that still evades us most of the time. And although we are trying to practice peace and purity, and sometimes we get a glimpse of what a peaceful state looks like or a pure state looks like, that deep feeling that I am peace and I am purity is still, I think, not very clear. Am I right? Yes. So I want to be, I can, but I don't know whether I am. So Baba says, and in the world there are motivational books titled I Can. So probably we have also reached that stage where I feel that I can be peaceful, I can be pure, but that deep feeling of I am is still, not there. And when the heart says I am peace and I am purity and I am this is who I am, is a stage that we are yet to reach. And I would like to call this stage a deep knowing of who I am. And today Baba in the Murli uses a word parrot. And I will read that out to you. And this actually got me thinking about this. And Baba says that it is now the iron-aged Tamo-Pradhan world. Because the world is old, everyone has become Tamo-Pradhan. Only you children have this knowledge. These are the easiest things of all which even little children can remember. However, they would remember them like parrots. You children feel this and you explain according to that. So Baba says, even a child can explain this like a parrot. So, little children, when they are given the course by their parents, they go and say, we were in Satyug and then we were pure and then we came to copper age and then we lost our qualities. And so it's something that everybody can. So, when Baba says little children, it doesn't mean physical children only. It also means when we are new in Gyan. So when we are new in Gyan and we are little children, then we speak this knowledge like parrots. And there is a story about parrots, and so that's the story that Baba refers to. And it's a very interesting story. In that story, so there is a bird keeper and he has a bunch of parrots. And then he trains them to speak that the hunter will come and he will throw the seeds, and then we don't have to get caught up in the net because he will spread the net and we will get caught up in that. So he teaches the parrots to speak that, and the parrots learn that very well, and they keep keep repeating that all day. The hunter will come, he will throw the seeds, but we don't have to get caught up in the net. And then a hunter comes once, and then the hunter says, so the hunter hears the parrots speak this, and he thinks these parrots are pretty smart. So they know that I will spread the seeds and then they don't have to get caught up. So he thinks that probably these parrots are wise. But then he still spreads the seeds and he spreads the net and he just goes to sleep. And then when he wakes up, he sees a very interesting scene that all the parrots are in the net, they are already caught, and they're happily chewing away the grain. And then in that state, they are singing, the hunter will come, he will spread the seeds, and we don't have to get caught up in the net. So then the hunter just takes them away, and he's very happy to see the foolish parrots. And Baba says that most of the time, we are like in a very peaceless state and we have lost all our peace and happiness. And then we sit in meditation and I'm peace, I'm peaceful, I'm peaceful. But I am peaceful, I am peaceful, we keep saying, but then at the slight, at the drop of a hat, it doesn't even require any big excuse or any big reason, and we lose our peace and our happiness. And we keep saying, I'm a soul, I'm a soul, and then we are so body conscious in our operation. So Baba says, all this is like singing like a parrot, and when we are little children, we behave like parrots. But Baba says, I want you to feel it. And do we feel like a soul? So this is a very, very clear word in the Murli, and Baba says today, so you must feel whatever Baba is saying and whatever you're practicing in meditation. And just let's think about how it feels to be a soul, because we have thought about ourselves as bodies, and we have identified with our sanskars for so long. It's been 63 births, and we have called our impure sanskars our own. So, there are people who say all day long that I'm a very impulsive person, or I'm very stressed, or I'm very difficult to please. And the people these days, they use these words also. I'm very anxious, or I'm depressed, or I'm in pain. So there are so many aspects, or I'm smart, or I'm very witty, or I'm very I can take the advantage of any opportunity. I don't miss an opportunity. So all these kinds of and these sanskars that we identify so deeply with are mostly very far away from purity and peace and genuine love and care and being powerful, spiritually empowered. So these are very distant from that. And we have identified with these sanskars for so long, and then with our bodies and our roles and our relationships, that it requires a lot of effort to clean ourselves of all those layers of body consciousness and all those layers of identification with vicious sanskars. And it requires quite some effort to come back to that place where our heart feels that I am a soul, and I feel like a soul. I feel subtle, I feel light, I feel eternal. A soul is beyond birth and death. So, I'm eternal, and I'm beyond loss and gain. I'm beyond success and failure. I am. So, I am worthy, I am valuable, I am in self-esteem, I am eternal, I am powerful, And that doesn't depend on any external factor. So when we sit in remembrance or we sit in silence, we try to practice all of this thing, but with that practice, we have to come to a state where I feel as I am. Yes, and that feeling of being a soul. So, how it feels like, we know how it feels like to be rich and healthy and successful and victorious. But do we know how it feels like to be me? And that's a very beautiful, blissful feeling. And Baba says, I want you to be soul conscious. And Baba in the Murli today says that Baba comes and wants you to be like him. And like him means totally soul conscious. And you see that Baba is Baba, and we are Baba's children, and we are very much like Baba. So Baba is Almighty, so we are also not very less. We are Master Almighty. But we have become so distant from our own truth because of this body consciousness and 63 births of identifying with this world of matter and these belief systems of Ravan and these impure sanskars. And these are the things, this body consciousness is what doesn't make us tap into our truth and the power of our truth. So Baba says, I want you to sit in silence and really deeply, genuinely think about your truth and think about how you are like me. And Baba says, just think about the fact that I'm just like my Baba. And there is this story where, and I don't know if I shared this story earlier also, but there's this story where a, an, uh, an eaglet, a child of an eagle is raised among chickens because that eagle lays the egg between the chickens, and the eaglet is living the life of a chicken, so never exploring that it can fly. And then it continues to live like that, and then one day the eaglet sees an eagle flying high in the sky. And then when he sees the eagle, then he sees himself and he thinks that I'm very much like that one flying high in the sky. I look the same. And then he sees himself, and then he sees how that eagle has spread the wings and enjoying the heights in the sky. And then he thinks, if I look like him, I must be like him, and let me try. So he just tries to spread the wings and then ultimately flies and experiences what it feels like to be an eagle. So Baba says, you have been looking at people who you identify with, and in looking at them, you have become like them. Yes, and you are living with body conscious people who believe in the power of money and body and position, but who are completely unaware of spiritual power. And because of that, you have also started believing in the power of money and position and status and relationships and health, but you don't know the power of being a soul. And here I am in my full glory as a soul. So Baba is his spiritual self. And then he says, see, I'm just a point, and I am the Almighty, I am the purifier, I am the ocean of knowledge. And Baba says, just keep looking at me and looking at yourself, just like the eaglet and the eagle. And then you also start seeing that you're more like him, not like anybody around you. And then you will be able to tap into your spiritual power, which is infinite and very huge. So Baba says, just I want you to be like me. I want you to not be body conscious and be soul conscious like me. And just think about Baba. It's such a small point. Not even, he doesn't even have a body. He comes and loans another person's body, and then he's changing the world. and we souls, we have a body. You see, you have a very personal body of your own. You have your, you have some wealth, something. You have a lot of things which you can call your own. And Baba says, still, you think you are not powerful, you think you are not peaceful, you think you are unhappy because of this body consciousness. And it's interesting that Baba is every day trying to bring us to this soul conscious stage. But I think because we don't remember Baba enough. So every day Baba says that stay in remembrance. And today Baba, instead of saying just remember me, Baba uses this word remembrance many times. And remembrance is more like awareness. So staying in the awareness of who we are, staying in the awareness of Baba, staying in the awareness of our divinity. So we as deities, how we were. So Baba says, keep all this in your awareness and start doing karma according to this new awareness. And then this awareness will become part of your identity and your sense of self. So this is what Baba is telling us, very clearly today. And today, Baba also uses this word. Most people in the world today have non-loving intellects, and in this in Hindi it is said, "Vinash kale vipreet buddhi vinashyanti." So it means that when it is the time of destruction, then most people have non-loving intellects for God. And those are the ones who are, who are messed up by this scene of destruction. And Baba says that people have love for dogs and cats and mouse and squirrels these days, but they don't have love for God. Yes, and it's very interesting that, and I remember once we were looking for a place for rent for the center, and so there was this person who was renting out his house, and I asked him if we could rent his place, and then he said, I will give away my house to a thief and a person who does slander, but I will not give it to anybody who says I work for God. And it was, and I just felt, who can stop you from your wishes being granted? So, every wish that we make, the universe listens to it. So, people have such non-loving intellects for God that, so one thing is, because of this non-loving intellect, we don't have recognition for God. And then we don't understand that where there is simplicity, where there is honesty, where there is this attitude to serve and there is benevolence, then that's an act of God. So we don't have love for God because we don't understand God, and then we don't do as He says. So Baba says most people, they don't have loving intellects for God. And it's love that makes us recognize also. And we souls, when we come to Baba, so when we take the course and we start reading the Murli, it's not like we really understand all of it. But there is something within us that tells us that this is God. And that's because we have been doing bhakti for so long, and there is love in our heart for God. And that love kind of gets kindled, or that flame of love gets kindled when we come to God. So it's love that makes us recognize God. And then it is love that makes us surrender. So recognition is an act of love. So, even if, let's take the example of a mother who loves his child, and the child meets with an accident and his face is all mutilated. The mother will still recognize the child. And the reason for recognition is that deep love inside the heart. And then it is love that makes you surrender. It is love that makes you give into the wishes of the one you love, whether you understand them or not understand them. And then Baba says, those who have done bhakti for so long have love in their hearts for me, and that love makes them recognize me, and that love makes them surrender to me. And when COVID started, there were people who said that you people have a lifestyle and a practice that makes you very ready for adversity. Yes, so yes, we have a lifestyle and we have practices that raise our adversity quotient, and BKs are very ready for adversity. And and there was somebody who told me, how did you know that, this is God and this is you're doing the right thing? Or, how did you know that this time will come and you will reap the benefit of what you're doing? So I said, the thing is, we didn't know. We are also knowing it just like you are knowing it today. But the thing is, we had love for Baba, and that made us do as he said. Even if most of the times, we didn't understand what he's saying, or we didn't understand whether this will really happen, or whether there'll be a scene of destruction. We didn't know all of that. But then we did it for the love of Baba. And Baba says that a loving intellect makes you recognize Baba, because Baba's love is recognized by a loving intellect. Yes, and mostly, these days people don't recognize love because their hearts are barren. You show an act of love to a person with a barren heart, he will not recognize it, because a loving heart recognizes love. And Baba's love is so pure that it can only be recognized by those who have love in their heart for Baba. And then that love makes you surrender. And when you surrender, now, so in the Murli, Baba says that with God, you don't play games. With God, you honestly surrender. And, even with physical parents, so, physical parents, most of the times, these days there are lots of dysfunctionalities, but still we have seen parents, physical parents also, who will do anything for the child but not tolerate dishonesty. Yes, so you don't want your child to be dishonest. You're willing to give everything to the child, but you don't want your child to be dishonest. Similarly, Baba says that I will give you everything, but A, you have to surrender, and B, you don't have to cheat me in the name of surrender. You have to honestly surrender. You have to honestly. So, Baba says this is a bargain, this is a deal, this is a contract. You surrender, and with all your heart, you say, Baba, everything of mine belongs to you. And Baba says, in that, and then do as I say. When you say everything of mine belongs to you, your mind, your buddhi, your sanskars, your time, your wealth, your energy, your physical capacity, everything, when it belongs to Baba, then, and with honesty, when you surrender to Baba, and then Baba tells you what to do with all of this. Yes, so Baba teaches you how to use your time, how to use your mind, what to put in your buddhi, what to discard from your buddhi, which sanskars to use, which sanskars not to use at all. Yes, and then Baba says, when you do everything according to what I say, then you will be able to get the, you will be able to be the king of heaven. But you have to do as I say, and that surrender and that love has to be genuine. And today, Baba says in the Murli that we have come to a time when there'll be earthquakes and fires and everything will be destroyed. Yes, and the only ones who have spent their time, energy, and money according to how Baba has directed will be able to take the income created out of that with them to heaven. And in Hindi, there is a saying, किनकी दबी रहेगी धूल में, किनकी राजा खाए, किनकी चोर लूट ले जाए, किनकी आग जलाए, सफल हो उसकी जो धनी के नाम लगाए. And what this means is, this is a time when people's wealth will remain buried and they will not be able to take that out. People earlier used to bury their wealth under the ground, but now they bury them in bank accounts which are non-discoverable and that wealth will remain buried, Baba says. And then some people's wealth will be confiscated by the government, because many people keep their wealth with the government. So they keep them in bonds and in banks and in this and that. And that will also get confiscated. In the end time, nobody is going to return your wealth to you. Yes, and we have seen at least 2-3 occasions in the last times where people couldn't retrieve their own money that they had placed with the government. Yes, and then Baba says this is the end time and this is how it will end. And then the third thing Baba says is thieves will loot you. So, when there is upheaval, so, there is a incident many years back in America where there was a total blackout. So in America, it was after many years, or probably a new thing, that there was complete blackout and no electricity and it all went dark. And you know what happened at that time? The biggest and the most prominent thing that happened was thieves became active. And there was a lot of thieving and looting at that time. So Baba says that's what will happen in the end. Lots of thieves will get active. And then the fire will burn down whatever is left. And Baba says only those who use their wealth on the directions of Baba in this task of creation of a new world order. So those who use their wealth in seva, in the spiritual seva, those people will be able to take their wealth with them, because that wealth will be converted into good karma and blessings, and that will go back with you. Otherwise, everything else will be destroyed. So Baba says this is the way you need to use your wealth. And you need to use your buddhi to understand what Baba is saying, not to refute what Baba is saying. So, sometimes we don't know where to use our buddhi. So sometimes you use your buddhi in a wrong way, and you use your buddhi to create doubt on what God is saying. But if you used your buddhi the right way and used it to create faith in Baba, yes, then that is the right use of buddhi. How do you use your mind? So in your mind, our mind does a lot of stuff. So have you seen that there are many things which you cannot do physically and practically, but you can do them in the mind. So can you go to London right now? Physically? Not right now, yes, but you can go through the mind. Yes, you can go anywhere, anytime in the mind. And you can go to the past in your mind. Yes, with your mind, you can go into the past, which you can never do physically. Can you go to the past physically? Can you go to past events and past circumstances? You cannot do that, but you can do that in the mind. You can even go to the future in the mind, because most of the day we are planning and we are creating scenes of the future. And then Baba says, now you don't have to use your mind to go into the bitter memories of the past and into creating fears about the future. You use your mind to go to Baba. You use your mind to see yourself in your purity, in your peace, separate from the body as a subtle energy, eternal point of light. So Baba says, this is how I'm directing you to use your wealth, your mind, your buddhi. And how do you use your time to spend every second in remembering Baba and accumulating the strength to come back to your virtues and powers. So Baba says, when you have loving intellect with me, then you do things on the directions of the one you love. And there is this one lady, and she came with her son, and she said, he only eats unhealthy food. So I said, who cooks it for him? So she said, I do it. I said, why do you cook? So she said, he screams and shouts and cries, and I feel pity and I cook it for him. So you see, love makes you do even that which is unhealthy for the other, because they want it. And Baba says here, God's love will only make you do that which is very, very spiritually healthy for you. So, it's very important also to love the right person, because love will make you do acts. And when you love the right person, that entity can make you do the right thing. So Baba says, have a loving intellect for me. And just like there is this saying, Vinash kale vipreet buddhi vinashayanti, there is also another saying, Vinash kale preet buddhi vijayanti. So those who just have loving intellect for Baba will win at the end, because just this love will make you surrender and do things which are very good for our spiritual health, spiritual income, and spiritual stage. So Baba says this today. And then Baba today in the slogan says, and okay, before the slogan, we will talk about Baba talking about good manners today. So Baba says, first thing is you make good use of your time, wealth, energy, everything, so that you create good karma out of it. And then Baba says you also need good manners. So, somebody who has a great credit for which he is entitled to go to Satyug, but one sanskar of anger, can he go to Satyug? So you've earned a lot of income, done a lot of punya karma. So you've used all your wealth in yajna seva, but then you have anger. So God cannot get you an entry into Satyug. Do you know that? So Baba says you must have a lot of spiritual credit which you earn by doing spiritual seva and using your body, mind, and wealth for spiritual seva. But you should, along with that, also have good manners. Because if there is any little habit, so let me tell you a story here. So there was this brother whose wife was Baba's very dear child. And his wife was totally surrendered. And then this brother also understood Baba a little because of his wife. And then Brahma Baba, when he was in his corporeal body, he was invited over to this couple's place. And he stayed with them in Delhi for quite some time. And during that time, because Brahma Baba's personality was very divine, so this brother got attracted to Brahma Baba and he started treating Brahma Baba like a guru. So although he didn't understand that this is Shiv Baba's chariot and something, but he started treating him like a guru. And then one day he went to Brahma Baba and said, I will make a confession before you, but you will not speak any word to dissuade me from that. So Brahma Baba said, okay, you can do as you want. And then he said, I don't have any other bad habit, but I take 4 spoons of that in the night before I sleep. Now you all understand what he is talking about. And then he said, if I go to sleep without 4 spoons of that, I don't feel sleepy. So every night I take 4 spoons. And then before Brahma Baba started telling him to leave alcohol, he just ran away. He said, I told you, don't discourage me. I said, I will only confess and I will not take any word of discouragement. So he ran away. And then Brahma Baba couldn't say anything. And then Brahma Baba just told him, just think, if you want to lose your kingdom for 4 spoons of alcohol, just think what this bargain is. And he didn't leave that habit. And then, when he left his body and bhog was offered and his soul was emerged in the body of the trance messenger, then that soul cried because that soul realized that because of this one habit, he cannot go to Satyug. So Baba says that don't have any such habit, any sanskar, which you cannot take along with yourself into Satyug. So even if you have slight anger, a habit of stealing or lying or anything of this sort, then Baba says this, or waking up late. So Satyugi souls will not sleep at 4 a.m. So if you don't create that habit of waking up early or eating pure food, if you have a sanskar and a taste towards impure food, then you cannot go to Satyug. So Baba says, take care of your manners also. So first thing is, you take care of earning a spiritual income by surrendering your body, mind, and wealth into God's task. And the second thing is, you create Satyugi manners. So manners about waking up, sleeping, eating, drinking, seeing, thinking, yes, or responding, behaving. So everything that you do here should be Satyugi. And if you don't create those Satyugi sanskars of conducting yourself in a pure manner, then Baba cannot grant you entry into Satyug, even if you have surrendered a lot in Baba's task. So Baba gives this Shrimad today. So be soul conscious, have a loving intellect for Baba, surrender and create good divine manners, because that time is coming when everything that you have will be finished and only how you used it and created spiritual income out of it will go with you. Okay, Om Shanti.